The Amazon is not entirely a natural product. The Amazon is a human-made garden. The trees in the Amazon that produce food are hyper-dominant. That didn't happen by accident. That happened because human beings made that happen. They created this incredible, we still don't understand it fully today, the terra preta, the black earth, which is immensely fertile, which reproduces its own fertility through bacteria in the soil. This is evidence of science. There were cities in the Amazon, populations of 100,000 or more, gigantic geometrical structures, huge squares, circles, a circle surrounded by a square, enormous constructions that you would not expect to find hunter-gatherer civilizations having made, and yet there they are. They're even finding pyramids in the middle of the Amazon.
What's going on, everybody? It's your boy JetskiChucK, and tonight we got a banger. So make sure you hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't already. You know, we're going to dive into the jungle on this one.
Know how to move and walk on their own, which sounds absurd, but it's actually real. Today we will take you to the moments when the camera accidentally captured the trees moving from one place to another. Now let's watch together. This is clip recorded when a man stands at a convenience store. Opposite him is the edge of the forest in the southeast of the state of Texas, USA. And the scenes he filmed were unbelievable. It can be said that this is the most vivid proof that trees can dance and move.
Is it walking y'all or what? That's definitely walking, bro.
Not stopping here, another YouTube account also accidentally filmed a scene of a moving tree in the old forest, where he was exploring with members of the Wilderness Survival Club. And this is exactly what makes him and everyone else really surprised and scared. And this can be said to be the clip that many netizens are most interested in watching, about trees being able to move by themselves. After this clip was uploaded by Emerson, it attracted a lot of views and comments about the fact that trees can move on their own is completely real. Another account said, "I couldn't believe my eyes. What the hell is
What do you guys think? That was interesting. Do you think trees have souls or not? Let's keep the show going. Is he hacking? It's just a bleeding tree. Yikes. What's he doing to homie?
Wow.
That reminds me of that movie Avatar where she connected her hair. I'm gonna drop a clip if you guys haven't seen it. Great movie, by the way. I haven't seen 2 yet. Did you guys like it? Tree opens his mouth and speaks. He said, "Ow." Listen to bro. He said, "Ow."
This woman spent over 2 years of her life at the top of a 180-foot-tall tree. In 1997, a lumber company planned to cut down a massive 1,000-year-old redwood tree. Activists were looking for a volunteer to postpone that by staying in a tree for a week. But Julia Hill stayed for 738 days. She lived all of those days on a small 12 by 12-foot platform in the canopy of the tree, enduring rain, cold temperatures, and constant harassment from the logging company. Volunteers would hike over 2.5 hours to bring her food and water, and the efforts worked. The logging company agreed not to cut down the tree, and it still exists to this day, though vandals have attempted to cut it down themselves, leaving the tree with a 32-inch deep gash.
Those vandals said, we're still cutting it down. Hey, something wrong with y'all. Knock it off, man.
First 3 months up here were the most difficult for me. I was broken physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually. I had to be broken on every level. And the reason I had to be was because when I prayed and I said, okay, if this is what I'm meant to do, then please, Creator, use me. Allow me to be a vessel. In order for me to be a vessel, to be used, I had to have my attachments broken. Because attachments make us solid. You can't be a vessel, a true vessel, if you're attached. You have to be emptied out first. You have to be shaped and formed. When I climbed into the tree, I was still very attached to comfortability. I was attached to fear. I was attached to anger and frustration and sadness. I reached a point where it was learn and transform or die. Two days after the men pulled out from having me intercede, the worst storm came. It lasted 18 hours. And it was howling. It sounded like wild banshees, the tarps. Like that, but times like 1,000. Just the wind was so hard that the platform was tilted at an angle like this. It was just a constant 60, 70 mile an hour wind that had the platform tilted. And then the 90 mile an hour gust would come and wham, and just fling me. Just whoop, I went flying.
I worried about her a lot, like when it was raining, when it was cold. Like last winter we had snow and ice up there, like icicles hanging off the tree and stuff, and I can't imagine what she was going through when it was like that cold.
It's interesting how this experience has taught me about letting go of attachments. And I thought I had let go of all of my attachments. I'd sold all my belongings. I'd been living in a tree for a couple of months at this point. You know, I'd really been proud of myself for letting go. But that night I realized the one thing I hadn't let go of was my attachment to my own life. And I was trying so hard to stay alive that it was clenched. My teeth were clenched, my eyeballs were clenched, my muscles are clenched. It's like maybe if I just clenched hard enough, I would hold on to my life. And meanwhile, it's just, wah! And hail's flying at me and bouncing off of me, and I'm getting hit with sleet, and I'm sopping wet and getting thrown all over the place. And the hardest gust is when I literally flew like 3 feet over a branch of Luna. And I grabbed onto it. I don't want to die, I don't want to die, I don't want to die. I want to be strong for you, Luna. I want to be strong for the forest, but I can't even be strong for me. What am I going to do? What am I going to do? What am I going to do? And then I heard this voice. Think of the trees in a storm. Okay, I'm thinking. I start to come to me, and I start thinking the trees in the storm. The trees that try too hard to stand up strong and straight are the ones that break. The only ones that make it through are the ones that bend and flow and let it go. Julia, now is the time you too have got to let it go. You can't be strong, you can't stay attached, not even to your own life. You got to bend and you got to flow. That's the way to make it through this storm, and that's the way to make it through the storms of life. So I did, I let go. I started hooping and hollering and screaming and laughing and crying, and if there'd been a hidden camera, we would have gone, she's nuts. And I was, but that's how I made it through. And the reason I made it through is because I let go of my life. It was like, okay, if I die, I die. Because I've let go of my fears now, that come along with being afraid to die or being afraid to get hurt, they don't have any control over me anymore. No one has control over me anymore. You want to hurt me? You want to stoop to your lower self? Bring it on. Because you're not taking my love, you're not taking my exuberance, you're not taking my zest for life. And when I go, I'm gonna go, and I'm gonna howl and rage to the very end, you know? And that storm taught me that lesson.
And that was an extreme situation. But she did end up saving that tree. Props to her for hanging in there, literally.
Resurrection plants, and this is the Rose of Jericho, also known as Miriam's flower, the flower of Saint Mary, and the of Jericho, also. Did you know that the tree of life is real? It's been used in herbalism for centuries, and you can grow your own at home. First thing, tree of life actually refers to any number of the resurrection plants, and this is the Rose of Jericho, also known as Miriam's flower, the flower of Saint Mary, and the miracle plant. Now in herbalism, Christianity, Santeria, Yoruba Catholicism, this plant symbolizes resurrection, rebirth, enduring love, and longevity. It's even referenced in the Bible in Psalms 83:13. It's said to call in wealth, provide protection, bring in good luck, and absorb that negative energy, helping you to resurrect your dreams, goals, and romance. Now without water, the plant dries into a ball and blows across the desert until it finds more. A reminder that despite what people say, it's never too late to turn your life around. To care for the plant, put it in a bowl of shallow water, let it absorb the water, and then take it out until it dries into a ball again.
Have you ever seen these videos of trees actually moving? They completely reposition themselves. These videos are really strange. In this one, you'll see this tree is thrashing around, and at first I thought maybe it was being cut down or something like that, but then it completely repositions itself in the forest here. Just watch. Right here, it moves spots. I slowed it down right here so you can see it. The biggest question in this is how? How are these trees moving like this? It honestly doesn't make any sense. All the trees in these videos are very large trees. But when you think about the root system, it has to be huge in order to hold the tree into the ground. People are saying this is a video of a tree dislocating its roots to move. And to me, it honestly looks like a heartbeat or breathing, but it could simply be some sort of water underneath the ground. This photo is a photo of a walking tree. It's called a walking palm, but they only move 2 to 4 centimeters a year, so I don't think that explains these trees moving like this. And when you watch trees in landslides, they essentially just fall. Do you think these trees are actually moving on their own? I feel like it would be really hard to make them move this way. People have even went as far as to say that spirits have possessed these trees. Do you think it's really good special editing?
This here is a walking tree. It's true. These walking palms are found in the Amazon rainforest and are known to walk up to 20 meters every year. They do this by growing new roots in the direction they want to go, and their old roots gradually lifting up and dying off. So as you can see over here, there are some new roots coming in, and on the other side, you can see the old roots that are slowly dying off. As you can see, they usually walk towards the spots with the best sunlight. Look, that one's running away right now.
Those trees be bucking. That's wild. Those trees moving. I'm gonna be looking a little bit closer at Forrest now. I'm gonna be looking in the back and seeing if I can see him move or not. I remind you about the Lord of the Rings. I don't know if you guys seen that movie, but I'm a huge fan, and it's crazy what those trees do in there. So it's kind of like, is there a little bit of truth to the Lord of the Rings, or is it just all one story?
Ouch. Oh. Ouch. Oh. Ow. Oh no. Ouch. Oh. Ow. Oh no.
What is he doing? He knows that car is too big to be even going through there in the first place.
Ouch.
Science now shows that plants appear to be sentient beings. They perceive light, smell, touch, water, and many more variables than we do. They can learn, remember, and communicate. They exhibit the traits that we associate with personhood. Experimental science has confirmed that plants can see, can see when you're standing next to them and the color of your shirt. They don't have eyes, but they have the same photoreceptor proteins all over their bodies that humans have at the back of their.
Ugh. I think that's shampoo. I think I've seen that before. That's natural shampoo. That pink honeycomb thing. It's actually pretty cool.
Alive, my favorite, the Monstera Deliciosa. Now, how do you get fenestrations?
As they age and mature, they get their fenestrations. As it matures and you see no fenestrations, then consider giving it more light.
If it's growing leggy or too many yellowing leaves, you might have issues with your light.
Place near a window where the plant can see the sky and the sun.
But the sun can't directly hit the leaves. If your leaves look like these, it could mean that it's an old leaf dying off. Something like this can be inconsistent watering, and something splotchy and droopy can be pests. The bigger the plant, greater chances of pests, so be sure to clean those leaves. It's good practice either way, and that way the plant can grow better. As your Monstera grows larger, it will need some kind of support pole. Now, depending on the size, you can do wood stakes, a trellis, bamboo stakes. In my case, with my very large one, I'm using a cedar plank. You'll start to notice the leaves, they get really droopy or they start to fold. I go and I poke the soil and I use my skewer stick. And I water when it's about 3/4 dry. And yes, you can also grow them in water. I hope this helps you feel a little bit more confident growing yours.
Let me help.
Kind of reminds me like a green Sully off Monsters Inc. Kinda. Ugh. I'm sure that's natural. I hope. Wow, that thing is beautiful. What is it? Ugh, something's in it. Is that a mouse? Damn. This thing caught a mouse. Look how massive that thing is. That's a plant? Damn. Looks like a saxophone, kinda. That is interesting.
The biggest and coolest plants here at the Hortus is Leucoplasia Thai Giant. Works like an umbrella. Not only are the leaves huge, it also flowers in a very cool way. This is called a shotgun inflorescence, and here you can see the seed pods. New leaves come out all crinkled up. This was grown from a seed that was planted in January. It is now the end of August. The stems are very thick, and here you can see how it looks on the inside. Have you ever seen a plant with leaves this big? I can't even show you. It's so big.
That was pretty cool. I never seen a leaf that big. Have you guys seen one bigger than that? That definitely takes the cake. Let's keep it going. Let's get a little bit deeper.
Reading about these carnivorous pitcher plants, and I learned that they have a gut microbiome, just like us. Well, the other day I was reading about these carnivorous pitcher plants, and I learned that they have a gut microbiome, just like us. Well, I mean, not just like us, and it's not really a gut, but they do have bacteria in that juice to help them digest their prey. Well, just on a side note, we don't really know if it's there to digest their prey. We just know that there are lots of bacteria that do exude enzymes necessary to break down the insects. But I read some studies that talked about competition between the pitcher plant and these bacteria. The microbiome hypothesis makes more sense to me. I mean, they have an open digestive system. Bacteria will surely get in there anyway. They might as well form a symbiosis, because they can't really avoid the bacteria. The other day I was reading about these carnivorous pitcher plants.
I don't know if you guys are familiar with Pokemon, but that plant looks like one of those Pokemon. What was his name? Victory Bell or something? Yeah, that's nuts.
Here, look at this thing. It doesn't care. It doesn't care that its pitchers are growing upside down and sideways. It doesn't even care that it's being eaten by an entirely different plant. And look at this. I'm lucky if I can get my other neps to grow a single flower in a year. And this one has grown 6 this year. 6 flower stalks. This thing's a monster. And look, it's growing a new baby vine because that's what it needs more of, because it doesn't have enough vines already. Of all my carnivorous plants, this one gets neglected the most. That's why it's still holding on to these crusty old dry pitchers, because I ignore it. I ignore this plant the most, and this is what it looks like.
In India, this small plant seems to have a life of its own. It rotates and moves without any outside interaction. Hundreds of people now visit the plant and have started to worship and leave offerings, believing this to be a miraculous event. The Indian government invited top geologists from around the world to study the plant, but none have agreed exactly why the plant moves on its own. Discovered in India, this small plant...
This video is for entertainment purposes only. Make sure you do your own research on everything.
By now you've heard the theory that claims that mountains are actually the remains of ancient giant tree stumps, right? And you've seen pictures like this. It totally just dawned on me when you see mountains like this and like this, and you're told that Paul Bunyan chopped it down. Duh! Who was Paul Bunyan? Remember the big giant man who chopped down trees? So they were giant trees. This was a tree. Same place, different view. Devil's Tower. Look at all these. At first I was like, oh, they just said he chopped the mountain. But no, it was a tree. He chopped it when it was a tree. Well, he probably wasn't real, but who knows by now, right? Who knows what's real now? Whatever is real in your reality makes so much sense now. Why would he go chop a mountain? No, it was a tree. By now you've heard the theory.
What is that? Can't see. Looks like some type of tree. Huh. I wonder where that's located. Look at the details. Huh.
The Amazon that's so tall, scientists found it using a satellite. Not only that, it literally took them 3 years of planning and 5 different trips just to reach it. Researchers first spotted it in 2019 using a 3D map. Then they went on a 10-day trek through the Amazon rainforest to try and find it. After multiple attempts, they eventually traveled 155 miles up a river, plus another 12 miles on foot through the jungle. And finally, they found this. The tallest tree ever found in the Amazon. Researchers say it's as tall as a 25-story building. And their guess is that it's at least 400 to 600 years old.
That's the tree Homegirl was
There's
in?
a tree in the Amazon that's so tall.
The Amazon, I think that was a completely different tree. That's crazy they could see that from that far away.
It's Burbage. Look at that candy striped peristil. The tasteful thickness of the picture. The subtle modeling inside and out. Oh my god. Look inside of it.
I hate the internet.
On December 16th of 2022, a man named Sam was hiking through a forest located in Newfoundland, Canada. Deep within the forest, Sam finds an oddly shaped tree resembling that of a human head with what looks like hair, eyes, and ears. Throughout history, there's been people
There's no way
buried
that's
inside
real.
trees, or even human bodies tangled underneath roots. But as to what exactly this tree could be, in order to know more, Sam will begin to frequently visit it.
Somebody chopped that head off.
On the following days while visiting the location, Sam finds the human-like head missing, as if it just shedded away.
The tree was massive. And that bee is like big as his hand. What is he doing? Oh, it's water at the bottom. That's clever. Uh-oh.
Glory be to God. There's over 200 of these trees of life that literally touch the top of the firmament. They're not volcanoes. This isn't my first rodeo. They have a root system. They aren't trees that would look like that. These are on a whole nother level. And yes, there's a root system underneath the Devil's Tower. Tower, 2 wards. Magdala, woman of Magdala. So again, this is not my first rodeo. I don't want to hear how they took samples from the Devil's Tower. It's rock. Dude, it's called petrified. They got glory be to God. There's over 200 of these trees of life that literally touch the top of the firmament. They're not volcanoes. This isn't my first rodeo. They have a root system. They aren't trees that would look like that. These are on a whole nother level. And yes, there's a root system underneath the Devil's Tower. Tower, 2 wards. Magdala, woman of Magdala. So again, this is not my first rodeo. I don't want to hear how they took samples from the Devil's Tower. It's rock. Dude, it's called petrified. They got scared, turned into stone. It's not stone, it's petrified wood. Knock on wood, Hollywood, Woden's Day. It doesn't matter what culture. Like I said, there was over 200 trees. So this is where you get Christmas. This is where they're cutting down the trees of life from. Abracadabra, the 3 Abrahamic religions. This is what I say is ice. It's the top of the pyramid. They had pyramids, which came after these because they needed these. 30% more oxygen. Ox, it's bull, genesis. Created genetics, what a gene is. Genies. So, all around the world. There's one place in particular called Serra Hatana. It's very interesting. But nevertheless, we're going to go over some more pictures. The movie Up, this is where they did Angel Falls, Paradise Falls. It's from a real place. It's laser harnessed sun energy beyond your guys' depths of comprehension. This has nothing to do about a big axe. These are giants, the jinn. So, let's take a couple more ganders and then we'll get into it. Okay. Flat all the way around. It's not like a big mountain or a big rock. Like I've heard so many theories, they're funny to me. And you guys might think, well, this is just a theory too. Like, it's whatever. This isn't my first rodeo. I must have said that 3 times by now because it isn't. And I've heard so many theories. I don't argue with people. We live in a firmament to become firmer men. It's a firmer mind, firmament. I know these words. I know where we come from. Don't be dumb. Don't be dome. A dome. Okay? It's Ganesha. This is Genesis. Okay? 6 protons, neutrons, electrons. So, root systems all around. Because they were trees of life. They're giants, physical giants that got petrified and physically cut down. This is physical, father sickle, where the sick or ill. Okay? Grim Reaper, you reap what you sow. It's Grim Reaper has a scythe, the Seth, it's god of chaos in Egypt. Santa, Satan claws, referring to the claustrum. This is ho, ho, ho. They're pharmacist tools. Harm or assist you. From pharmakeia, heal or hell. So the trees kept you in full alkalinity, in alignment, elach in mint mind. Glory be to God. There's over.
Have you ever wondered where all the giant trees have gone? You see, the biggest tree that we have now stands around 200 feet. All the giant trees have been chopped down, and all that we're left with are giant tree stumps. Oh my days! Oh my diddy. At its height, this tree trunk was 2.5 miles across.
Oh my
A tree
diddy.
full grown would reach 10 miles into the sky. Oh my diddy. And what you may not be aware of is due
Oh
to
my
certain
diddy.
conditions and over a long period of time, wood actually becomes petrified, which means wood turns into stone. Now before you make judgment, I want you to compare these pictures. These are pictures of trees and mountains. Is there any difference? Well, now we know certain mountains are just giant tree stumps. Have you ever wondered?
Devil's Tower is a tree that had been cut down, and this is just a stump. I posted a few videos and proved without a shadow of a doubt that this is the case. And even with all the proof, you still got people that say stuff like this. Dig out a root and I'll believe you. No, you won't. No, you won't. But for all the other people that know what I'm saying, this one's for you. So I came across this the other day, and this is from Casper Planet. And check this out. A huge and startling discovery has been made at the Devil's Tower in Wyoming. Scientists from the Wyoming State Parks Department were conducting photographic seismic readings below the tower when they discovered an incredibly large petrified root system below the tower. The Parks Department released a statement saying, "We have discovered what looks like a giant root system stemming from the base of the Devil's Tower." You don't say. No way. I would have never guessed. The root system has been measured at 4 miles deep by 7 miles wide. We are currently conducting studies
That's
and
it?
tests to confirm that this is actually a root system and not a coincidence. This discovery is on the edge of rewriting history and science as we know it. We will continue to update you with any new information, as this time the information is very limited. Now that website has since been deleted, and I kind of wonder why, but I don't wonder. Pretty interesting stuff though, right? Have a good one.
Why so few, you say? There are not a few of these giant trees. The remnants are everywhere. Our eyes only allow us to see small glimpses of what was. But the more your eyes open, the more you realize that these ancient trees were everywhere. You see, we have been told to dismiss what our eyes have told us for so long. Erasing all truths of the old world is a vast and extensive lie that branches off into all facets of our life. The lies are numerous, and the reason for it is quite simple. Those unaware of their true past, of their true capabilities and origins, are all that much more easier to control. It's not just about giant trees. Though the giant trees for me and many others were a big eye-opener to the true beauty of this world, to what's worth uncovering, and how much of it is hidden in plain sight for us to find. They want us thinking we're just hurtling around on a spinning rock in vast sea of nothingness, and we're just lumps of cells that don't matter, and all that around us is just rock. But trust me, friends, once you start opening your eyes to the true beauty of this realm, it truly inspires you and uplifts your spirits in ways you can never imagine. Question everything, friends. Until next time.
Look how high up this is. How deep were their floodwaters? The remnants. So they had to have laid on the ground for quite some time in weather to be able to do this. And then the floodwaters came. So I gotta film part of this again because sometimes you don't come across things as extraordinary as this, especially things that don't have the moss and stuff on them that hide the color. So just want you to take a good look at this. Hey, this is a different spot, but look at this. I'm gonna walk around down here, and you know, some people would never get to see this in a lifetime. You see all the pieces and parts everywhere. All the pieces and parts. Look at this.
Cedars in the garden of God could not hide it. The fir trees were not like his boughs, and the chestnut trees were not like his branches, nor any tree in the garden of God was like unto him in his beauty. I have made him fair by the multitude of his branches, so that all the trees of Eden that were in the garden of God envied him. Therefore thus saith the Lord God, because thou hast lifted up thyself in height, and he hath shot up his top among the thick boughs, and his heart is lifted up in his height, I have therefore delivered him into the hand of the mighty one of the heathen. He shall surely deal with him. I have driven him out for his wickedness. And strangers, the terrible of the nations, have cut him off and have left him. Upon the mountains and in all the valleys his branches are fallen, and his boughs are broken by all the rivers of the land. And all the people of the earth are gone down from his shadow and have left him.
happens. Let's go up there a little bit. You can see a lot of the characteristics of the wood because it doesn't get a lot of water. How crazy is that? So that whole section right here broke off. Like this piece is getting ready to break off. But this was a knot. A massive part of a massive knot. And this is just one tiny piece, section of one ring.
Man, it kind of makes you think, were these trees that big back in the day? You know? Or are those, I don't even know how that can form. It looks just like driftwood, so what else could it be?
See? Hold on a second. And you see it's nothing but wood. Okay? So we're gonna go down over here and I'll show you a little more. Okay? See here. And at an angle. Okay? All this, everything. This whole mountain in a 100-mile radius. See?
All right, y'all, this was a long one, man. If you made it this far, drop the 100 in the comments. So I know you made it through the whole thing and you real, man. It means a lot to me. And if you haven't already, go ahead and like and subscribe. It really helps the video a lot and helps the movement. And I just want to say thank you for everyone. This video is for entertainment purposes only. Make sure you do your own research on everything. I just want to thank everyone for watching this video, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.